From the Mangosuthu University of Technology here in Umlazi, and it's basically an area that houses about 1 million people. There's about 28 high schools, I've been told, that some are feeder schools into the university, and they an area that really has grown over the time, and of course there's a very, very strong contingency of ANC supporters. We've been talking to some of the issues that the universities here in KwaZulu-Natal have been facing. Mangosuthu University also one of those universities that have been struggling, but as it is now, I've been seeing students arriving for all of their lectures right now, and so I can imagine that things seem to be back to normal. I know that there has been an order, a court order, that if there is protest taking place, students must ensure that they're at least 150 meters away from any lectures. So that's just one of the orders, and I know that there have been a lot of resolutions with the university and the students. So on that note, that's just one issue that affects the students of South Africa, or the youth of South Africa, I should say. They are the future of our country, and they are the loud voices out there shouting for change. They are the ones that are looking for something different. They're living in a different world compared to the world that perhaps you and I that are watching grew up in. So their needs are different. And right now we're going to talk to the needs of the youth and what it is that they are looking for from a ruling party. So let me introduce you to three of my guests that have come out to talk to us. Firstly, we've got Njabulo Mabaso. He is the chairperson of the Njabulo organization. Good to have you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Welcome. Also, Tabisile Mngadi. She's from the community, the Umlazi community, but she's also speaking on behalf of people that are living with disabilities. Tabisile, thank you for coming. Thank you. Then, of course, we've got Siyabonga Masoka. He is a third-year BCom accounting student, also likes to call himself an entrepreneur. Good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
All right, so this is the face of the future of South Africa, and we're sitting on I'd say close on 50 days before the elections, the 9th of May, I'm not sure for you guys, but for you,
yes,
it's your first time voting.
It's my first time.
You've never voted before. You are now of age to go out there and vote. Let me ask you how you're feeling as the youth of South Africa to go out and vote for the first time. How does it make you feel?
I'm so excited, Leanne. Actually, I'm so excited. This is a very good opportunity for me to actually make change, to also elect people who are going to represent me in Parliament and in the provincial legislatures.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
So, have you voted before? Either of you?
Yes,
you voted?
yes, I have.
Okay. Yes. So this is you going into the second voting, and for you?
Yes, I have voted.
You have voted. But your dreams, your wishes as the youth of South Africa, do you feel that they are being met? Do you feel that the parties that are representing you, the youth, are doing their job? Let me start.
Thank you very much for that. I would indicate that as persons with disabilities, because we come in the angle of persons with learning disabilities, we would say that we can say that parties, they should look into their manifestos, so we would have diversity and the world of inclusion for persons with disabilities. Because in that angle, that is a far outreaching angle that should be well represented in all forms of society. It's something that we should look into, because we say that in the disability sector, nothing about us without us.
Yeah.
For that, we cannot solely speak for us in any form without including us.
Yeah.
So I would say that if all parties could look into their manifestos and try to see what is it that they can do for persons with disabilities, because we are eligible, we are capable of anything, given the sufficient support that we need, and we are rising against all odds. Apart from, because we say that apart from disability, there is an ability that one has.
Yeah, I like that. Tabisile, I know you're going to speak more to people living with disabilities, but we've got a little bit of a problem with your microphone, so I'm not ignoring you. We're just waiting. Perhaps we can bring this one in. Let me bring this microphone in. There we go. This is the joy of live television, so I'm going to give that to you, and hopefully we'll be able to hear you, because we don't want anything you say to go missing. When we talk to people with disabilities, do you feel that the needs are being met in your community, in Umlazi?
Okay. Idingo nje zabantu abaphila nokukhubazeka akuhlangabezwana nazo. Mengase nje ngikhulume ngama crash, yebo intuthuko iba khona emphakathini, iziyakhiwa izinto izikole ama crash, kodwa azibi accessible for abantu abaphila nokukhubazeka, bakhishelwa ngaphandle. And ayikho into engiphatha kambi mina njengomuntu ophila nokukhubazeka ukubona ingane encane ingafundi ngenxa yokuthi asikho isikole esilungele ukuthi ifunde yona njengoba iphila nokukhubazeka. Nje ama learnership lawo esinikwa yona, inkampani ziyasinika ama learnership egcineni zingakwazi ukuthi zisiqashe kuma workplace la azikho indawo la ezisuitable for ukuthi thina sihambe thina esiphila nokukhubazeka. As a result siya discriminate because inkampani uthi sike sifisa ukuthi sifake ama CV ethu, kodwa sibheke ukuthi enkampanini ayikho indawo esuitable for thina. Siyacela nje ukuthi uhulumeni ake ayiphakamele nje inkinga zethu. Imigwaqo angikhulumi emakhaya, imigwaqo yakhona emakhaya ayikho suitable for ukuthi thina esiphila nokukhubazeka ukuthi sihambe khona. Nje siyalimitheka to the freedom of movement. Siyacela nje ukuthi uhulumeni melethe intuthuko emphakathini yangakwethu yangasemakhaya asi-include na intuthuko ayiletha izikole ama crash abe suitable for nathi esiphila nokukhubazeka.
Okay, Thabisile, I think you've touched on so many different issues, and just to sort of paraphrase what you've been saying, we're talking to creches that are not able to support people with disabilities. The roads, the infrastructure here in Umlazi are not suitable. So basically what lands up happening is that you become a prisoner in the place that you're born because you cannot move, you cannot go anywhere. Schools are not there to sort it out. You apply for jobs and you're not given any opportunity. So how are you meant to make money? There's a range of issues, and I think you speak to a lot of the people that suffer from disabilities here in South Africa, and you've said it so well, but we need to have actions because you cannot be the prisoner in the place that you were born due to the fact that nobody is looking after people that have disabilities, and it's a big problem. So we've spoken for disabilities, but I want to speak to other issues as well. Students. We've seen this province being a real hotbed of issues when it comes to NSFAS, tertiary education, accommodation, funding, all of these things. Talk to us about that. How would you like to see this improved, and what are the major issues?
Thank you for that question, Leanne. You know, the biggest problem is the deficiency or the lack of proper communication between the institutions of higher learning, that is universities, and mostly NSFAS. Because NSFAS, if NSFAS can discuss or communicate effectively with the institution, and the institution communicate effectively with the students in time, that will prevent so many issues that we've been monitoring, especially here in KZN. So many universities have been banned. For example, in the past few days, we've seen the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Westville getting light up. But the major issue, the NSFAS makes decision and communicates with the universities. Universities don't get back to students on time, which make it an issue, because if students see that their needs are not being met, they decide no, the only way to do this is via protest.
Yeah,
yes.
And that's the problem. It's the burning of properties. We've seen mattresses being thrown out of university windows. In fact, we've seen libraries being burnt, and these are big issues. So that's the university issue. That's the education issue. What about unemployment? Because the youth are so affected by unemployment. Would you like to talk to that?
Thank you very much. On that point, because we are saying that it's 7% of employment for persons with disabilities, because the white paper on the rights on persons with disabilities gives clear indications for employment, because we are saying that we are persons that could also be employed in the working areas, but it must have universal access, reasonable accommodation for persons with disabilities for us to excel and to work in an environment which is enabling a person with a disability to work in any type of job that what could be presented to him or she. Yeah. So I would say that yes, if we could look into that percentage of employment, I urge that employers out there and even government and private sector to really come to us, because we are saying that we can speak for ourselves. We are eligible to speak and ways are there, and we are given sufficient skills and support, we could be employable. We are employable.
Final question as we wrap, and I'm literally going to give each of you 5 seconds. You look at politicians, one of the big things that we always talk to is the fact that so many of our politicians are too old. They don't talk to the youth. They don't understand your issues.
Yes.
If so, which party for you speaks to the issues of the youth most?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot. Who speaks to you the most?
When it comes to that, I would indicate that they are trying in all senses to speak to us as young people.
Yeah.
But there is one particular party that speaks to young people.
Go for it. Tell us. It doesn't mean you're going to vote for them.
I would say that it's the African National Congress.
The ANC for you. For you, Thabisile, who speaks to your issues? Which party?
Yabo nje njengoba siphila nokukhubazeka engingaqoqozela ukuthi ey'koleni kube zibe accessible for thina esiphila nokukhubazeka zilungele ukuthi thina sikwazi ukufunda, iy'ngane y'kwazi ukufunda, including even ama-university awekho accommodate, awekho well for thina esiphila nokukhubazeka.
But is there a party that talks to that? Is there a party that is listening to you? Okay. Finally for you.
Yes, there is actually a party that talks to young people, and this party, I was looking at their candidate list for the IEC. If you look at the list, the average age is 35 of that particular party, and that particular party is the Economic Freedom Fighters.
There you go.
So I'm excited, but I've got one challenge for the political parties. I've been looking at their manifestos, at least all of them. We've got an issue of black tax. Black tax is affecting mostly black people.
Yes.
So I am posing a challenge to them. Can they make sure that people from the ages of 22 to 35 are exempt from income tax? If they can make sure that those people do not pay tax, income tax, that will
help.
That'll help
the youth for today, and especially with the responsibilities that come with.
Yes.
Thank you to all of you, really. Ngibona Kakulo, thank you very much for being our guest here on the program, talking to the youth. Njabulo, Siyabonga, Thabisile, we really appreciate your time. Let's take a very quick break. We're going to be talking about land after this. Don't go anywhere.